Hey guys, thank you so much for being with us. As above, so below. We're talking about Satyrian energy, the frequency and vibration, and I want to say much love to each and every one of you guys. Once again, to my TikTok family, I am coming on. Apostle Ely is making a conscious decision to come on my live and give you guys the opportunity to chime in as you're being notified that I am live. On my platform, I teach universal laws. It doesn't matter to me if you're an Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Apollo, whether you're a mystic or Ajay, whether you are a shaman or an atheist. On my platform, I try to teach universal laws in with the idea of people being able to get something no matter what their particular pantheon is, no matter what type of spirits we're on. But I want to talk today. It's been a concern for a lot of different people. If you have never been in this spiritual journey, good afternoon. Thank you so much for being with us. I think that what I want to talk about, since I've been doing spirituality since I was a kid, and I am 50 years old, about to be 51 in December the 15th. I want to share many of you guys, and I'm going to explain to you why this is important. When it comes down to spirituality is one thing, but when it comes down to spiritual work is another thing. And whether you are a practitioner, whether you go to a practitioner, whether you're somebody that aspires to operate in your spirituality, I have found that a lot of people, no matter what the tradition is, no matter what the pathway is, that a lot of people, because, what's up, Mama Susan? Because I'm a Sagittarius, my moon is in Aries, and my rise sign Pisces. So if you don't mind posting your zodiac sign as well, I'd be much appreciated. But I found that a lot of people don't realize the cost of your spiritual journey. And the thing that I want to share with you guys, this has nothing to do with having this as a profession. This has to do with the amount of cost that it would take in order for you to properly venerate your ancestors, to properly venerate or be a devotee of a particular spirit or ancestor or god or goddess. What's up, Libra? Thank you so much. We're in the season of Libra. My Padrino birthday was earlier part of this month. But happy birthday to all my Libras, that cardinal air energy. But when I teach this today, hopefully, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I have a lot of videos that I teach real magic. I'm not an individual that is interested in the aesthetics of spirituality. I work with the real chi, the real prana, the real ache of that particular path that I walk on. So I want to say this. Just like furniture in your house is a cost, and depending on what type of income you have, it also, thank you so much for the rose, it really matters that most of us that get into this, that we start teaching people whether they're going to go any further. If you go to a community college, it costs. If you go to a 4-year college, it costs. If you take courses to get a certificate, it costs. And I think that a lot of times when people start venerating or dealing with ancestors or dealing with Orishas or Loas or the Impungos or any other particular deity or spirit, they don't realize the amount of money or resources that it takes to be able to properly work with that particular entity. And I'm not even talking about outside of your ancestors. The amount of to be able to maintain what you start is also another cost. My mom used to say, it's one thing to get it, it's another thing to keep it. And she's a Virgo. And I do realize that a lot of people may start candle work, but then they can't maintain the candle work. Or they may start working with the gree bag, but they can't maintain feeding the gree bag. Or they may start sessions with their spiritualists, and they can't not maintain it because they don't realize the cost that comes along with having a man or woman available to you to give you or supply spiritual needs. And incurring those costs would be more easier, not easy, but easier if you went into it understanding a typical cost of having somebody to train you, a typical cost of having somebody to initiate you, the typical cost of maintaining the candles for a particular manifestation. Because like anything, if you start, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate that. I'm glad you at least came to that conclusion so you can leave my live. So when you think about spirituality and of any form, of any sort, you really start understanding that in your endeavors, that those things really, really cost. And so if you don't have certain amount of, thank you so much, Monica. If you don't have an idea of what you're actually trying to do, it's no different than building a shed on the back of your house or bringing in a pool. When you start a journey, when you start a task, and you're not thinking about what it's going to cost for me to, from the start to the finish of a thing, it is very difficult and sometimes upsetting and sometimes disturbing to the person that is trying to endeavor in their spiritual journey, because they don't understand what it really costs to get that particular outcome. And let me tell y'all something. I practice a lot of ATRs. I've been doing this a very, very long time, and I've been doing it proficient a very long time. And when I explain, good afternoon, Pisces goddess, when it comes down to actually doing your own personal journey, whether you do that weekly, whether you do that bi-weekly, whether you do that monthly, it matters about how much time, how much when I say energy, that you're able to put into your particular practice. People feel like if they call on the name of a deity, a god or goddess, that things happen immediately when they have not built relationship. And in that time, it's like when you do you have the time to go on vacation? If you can go on vacation, can you afford the vacation? If you go on a vacation, can you afford to do things while you on vacation and still come back to your house? Spirituality, I'm sorry, man, it is no different. To do hoodoo, to do voodoo, some things, if you have certain knowledge of certain herbs, they can be less costly because you know how to go out in nature. But at the end of the day, there's still other things that you have to put with that particular working. And so when you're trying to do Obeah work, conjure work, mystic, shaman, Kabbalah, Eastern Star, Mason, it don't matter. It is still a financial cost to your spiritual journey. And I am not talking about you out here trying to do work for other people. Like before I got on this live, I had to do a spiritual bath. When I get off certain lives or I'm dealing with certain people, I do. A lot of that is not, people don't realize that if you're going to be out here servicing people, the amount of revenue that you need to be able to keep yourself cleansed, the amount of that keep your environment cleansed, to keep yourself protected, keep your environment protected. Good afternoon. And this is the type of thing that when we talk about universally, it doesn't matter whether you are doing this as a personal journey or you are a type of person that you're going, this is a business for you, or you have God children or spiritual children, or you have, in my case, I have members of my church, or I'm also crowned Mafedi Fun Oya, but I'm rocking Mafedi Fun Iligua today because I'm going to do a video teaching about crossroad spirits on my YouTube channel after I get off of here. A lot of people, even when you're preparing prosperity, you're preparing road opening, you're preparing success, you're preparing protection. Depending on how strong you intend for that particular potion or that particular working to be, how much energy do you have? And then what did it cost for you to actually come up to how much of your own personal energy went into that? How much is that a recipe that anybody can get on the internet? Is that a family recipe? Because some of you guys, before you get started on this spiritual journey, let me say this. This is just to help you out. If you have certain family recipes for certain spell work, conjure work, if you ain't got it copyrighted, if you don't have it where you can benefit off of one, if it ever was to get into the public domain, then that's not why. Never put out a family recipe or a particular way that your ancestors did their conjure, did their magic, did their manifestation, if you are not benefiting from the legacy of where you learned it from. There are certain spell works I do not do online. There are certain workings that I do that my spiritual dad, she said, yes, absolutely. I just think that so many people, especially young people, they're so bent on trying. Is your YouTube in your bio? Yes, my YouTube is in my bio. And it's my name that I have on here, Apostle Samuel Jr. My government name is out here. But when you don't understand these things and you're not up under somebody that's really teaching you, you don't know. When I say cost, I'm not only saying cost as in what you got to spend out, but sometimes we pay for our learning. And sometimes you lose a lot, whether it's time, energy, money, your reputation, your integrity, or whatever you're going through, when there's you out here and you're trying to share something that you are experiencing, not something you have mastered. It costs to master your craft. That's like cooking or anything else. You got to spend time, energy, and money in something and to perfect it. Even though me personally, Alafia, what's up, my love? Yes, that's a pretty lady. It is what it is. But when you are out here on this spiritual journey, and the reason why I think this will help a lot of you all, when you go to a spiritual practitioner, you will stop having the mindset that somebody taking advantage of you financially. Okay? You will stop thinking, because it's like being in a relationship. If a man is used to paying all the bills, then there are certain questions or certain discussions y'all not going to have. Or a woman that's used to paying the cost to do certain things. There's a certain maturity that comes along with people that knows what it costs for that man to be initiated, that woman be initiated, or even the cost to be online, the cable bills, the lights, all of this stuff, the background, how much ever they invest in that. A lot of times when we go to restaurants, and I'm gonna tell you two places that people spend a lot of money in and they okay with the outcome. I'm explaining what I mean. People will go to 5-star restaurants, 5-star hotels. They will pay. What is the difference between a cheap apostle or a B5 and a cheap apostle or a church? Give me a moment, sweetheart. We will pay top dollar in a hotel that when we get through paying, we not taking the beds. We are okay spending that kind of money, not taking, we just experiencing the setup. We go to a restaurant, we're paying for the setup. When it comes down to spirituality and people out there, they have paid for their Orisha, they have paid for their ceremonies, they have paid, just like anybody that go to school, they pay for their books, they pay for their travel, they got lunch, they got to get, when they get hungry. You know, you can be all smart all day long, but if you hungry and you can't feed yourself, it's hard to think and do your schoolwork when you hungry, okay? So a lot of times, what's up there, Sister Jack and my tar? A lot of times people do not understand that the cost that a lot of times you incur has a lot to do with what it costs for that man or woman to be in the position to have the tools that they have to actually service the individual in a particular tradition. To answer your question, I am a chief apostle of Apostolic Faith. That's in my church. And then I am also a priest in these other ATRs. To keep everybody from not being confused about who I am and what I do, is I just go by the name of Chief Apostle, okay? Before I, but I still got initiated, confirmed, anointed to operate in any office, but I just go by Chief Apostle. But I'm not a Baba. I'm not an Ifa priest. No. I am a crown, Mafedifun Oya priest. I'm also crown Oshun. I also was crowned by Shango. So I've been going there. So I know it, no problem. So the concept is I'm trying to teach on my platform universal law, because I feel like the truth is we miss out on a lot when we don't understand the cost of what it takes to I don't know if y'all seen that movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and Brandy was the name of the girl that was pregnant, but she was a very high class woman, and Martin Lawrence, I can't remember his name, but he wanted to get with her, but he already knew he could not afford her, so but he went after her. I feel that in certain instances, a lot of people get involved with spiritual people that they don't want to pay what it costs. You want to be able to walk around on a dealership car lot of the Mercedes dealership, and you don't want nobody to ask you no question, but after a while they trying to figure out why you there. If you want to practice and you want services from a particular type of tradition or person, you have to consider. You can't look at somebody that's practicing hoodoo and then say that and look at their prices and what they charge, and then look at somebody that is an Ifa priest or priestesses, or they may be a Santero, or they may be a Voodoo Asana or Bokor. depending on what they got going on, those costs can vary. That's the same thing. The difference between you going to a licensed nurse, practitioner nurse, versus you actually going to a doctor. The price is gonna vary based off of the level of experience, the level of tools, the level of assets. Also, let me tell y'all something. Another cost will incur is the availability of that spiritualist. The more of the demand that people have for the time or the energy of that particular spiritualist, the cost will vary. Me personally, I'm a UPS driver, so some of my clients that want me to attend to their courtroom work, or you got to pay for me not to be at work. And on my physical job, I make $41 an hour. And I'm not going to lose my overtime and what I got going on in order to tend to your business. So not only do you got to pay me for the time I'm missing off of work, you got to pay me to actually do the work. So in my donation, because I'm a church, that's how it goes. Now, if you can find somebody that meets your budget and you can maintain that, that's where you need to be. But I don't think you need to be in Bloomingdale's telling them about what Walmart got going on. I just don't think that a lot of times when we get into stuff, people, especially melanated people, y'all know how we do. We like to group everybody in the same boat. Oh, y'all all spiritual. All of our readings are not the same. All of our workings are not the same. All of our conjure ain't the same. All of our time ain't the same. And so where somebody else may say, you know what? Especially if they had to pay, like I spend tens of thousands, especially me going through all these ceremonies in Ocha and receiving all these orishas, sir and ma'am, I cannot afford to do, well, first of all, I wasn't going to do it anyway, even if it wasn't true, but my time is valuable, and I have a long list of resume when it comes down to the works that I do. What I am trying to share with everybody that is practicing before you get out here is that you need to be cost efficient. Do you have the resources to accommodate 5 people, 10 people, 20 people? It is no different than having a facility and knowing the capacity where you can actually serve them properly. Thank you. Jesus loves you, Yahshua. He doesn't want you to do this anymore. Repent. Oh yes, the Lord wants me to do this more than anything. That's why he gave me the gifts and the talent. And this is another thing. Guys, when you come out here, you have a lot of people that do not understand their religion. And I would encourage many of you guys that if you're going to practice real spirituality, to not only know and have understanding of your particular practice, but the practices of other people, because this individual doesn't realize that the very Jesus that he's talking about, they are talking about, is actually Yahshua, and that their religion was stolen from Egyptology, Kemet, and so therefore, when it comes down to spirituality, a lot of people don't realize, if we're going to, by science, say that the beginning of civilization came out of Africa, then anything that you are partaking in or learning is an extension or a knockoff from anything that came out of Africa. Now, whether you change it into New Age magic or you change it into other things, but at the end of the day, I want to encourage men, if you all spend some time, money, and energy in not only learning your particular practice, but when you get out here on a platform such as this, you're going to be encountering other people that have been taught other religion, and it helps you to be able to understand where they're coming from, whether they are right or wrong, whether they are correct or they are delusional. It don't matter. In order to help people, you have to have an understanding of their sickness or their. Thank you so much for the love out here. When I use certain terms, I understand where those terms come from. What's up, Boss Braids? When I am doing certain conjures, so if I'm going to do a working for some of y'all, because listen, I order my herbs, a lot of times the things that I be doing, they come from other countries and stuff, so I have to wait on things to be, I'm a UPS driver, so I have to wait for things to come through customs, and depending on what I can get. Right now I'm representing Ocha. I don't know why that matters. I don't. Why does that matter? Let me explain something, y'all. This is what happens when we do not spend money in education. This is what happens, not only spiritual, okay, it's okay, but it's important when it comes down to spirituality that we are open and realize I could have missed out on a lot of things being closed-minded. When I originally came up in the church, we came up Baptist. It doesn't matter, they still confused. I came up Baptist, and eventually we went to Pentecostal and Apostolic, but each one of those particular religions taught me something. And just like when you leave kindergarten, kindergarten taught you some, first grade taught you some, second grade. Each one of the levels that you go, each one of the process you go, and those teachers are being paid a amount of money so they can focus on your educational development. The mind is very important. A lot of people out here trying to learn spells instead of learning the concept or the science behind their particular ATR, whether that's hoodoo. Some, people arguing about what fits in what category. Let me explain this. In order to be proficient in any particular science, you have to understand how that science came about. And so therefore you can learn how to navigate in the realms of that particular science. You cannot practice voodoo and don't understand the science of voodoo. You cannot practice Ifa. You cannot practice Kabbalah. You cannot practice any of these ATRs that are out here and you don't understand how they were constructed. What is the science, or how did they direct the energy? How did they harness the energy? And a lot of our churches and we dance and stuff, that's building up energy. That's why you see dance. It's also called the law of rhythm. Whether you call it something or not, don't change what it is. We all come up with different terminology for things, but I feel like not only we don't understand cost that goes into your spirituality, the maintenance of your spirituality. If you want to be successful, especially as a business, you got to be able to generate where you can maintain what your investment is. So if you're going to spend money to educate yourself in a spiritual class, then you also got to spend money to maintain and benefit from that spiritual class. You can't just be out here going to school or embracing knowledge that you done spent your money for and there's no harvest. Are you in a better state of mind? Are you able to make more are you able to enlarge your territory? Have you built healthier relationships that end up being profitable for you down the road? All of this is important. Yes, I feel that the Holy Ghost is about shouting to tell all the truth. And so, thank you so much. So when you think about spirituality and the cost of it is, and I say this oftentimes, everywhere you go, people telling you about something outside of yourself. When you were born of the sun and you were born of Mother Earth, father and mother, solar energy, melanated energy, okay? You come together. There takes resources. It took resources from the sun for you to have a soul. It took resources from Mother Earth for you to have a body, right? Then you come in and now it takes resources to raise that particular entity, whether that is a earth sign, fire sign, water sign, whether that is whether your pathway of education is going to be Ifa, voodoo, Santeria. All of that still costs. All of the time, the cost that it took for some man or woman to teach you how to cook, how to clean, how to maintain yourself. A lot of times, people lose out on their investment because they do not respect or understand the maintenance and what it costs to maintain. Buying a house and maintaining a house, those are two different expenses. Upgrading the house is a different expense. And this is what I don't understand. After understanding that you are made in God's image and after God's likeness, why are we so willing to spend more money in an outward house than this temple right here? What does it cost for you to maintain this tabernacle? Huh? Most people could tell you what it costs to maintain a house, how much it costs for them to go to college, how much it costs for them to get their degree, or what they could tell you. But what does it actually cost for you to maintain your spiritual health, your mental health, and your emotional health? And that's the amount of money that we spend the less in. And when some of you guys see some of us that have taken our resources and invested it in not only building our spiritual house, but also maintaining our spiritual house, that's when you want to come and try to nickel and dime somebody with what it costs when you don't know, because you haven't taken out the time. I guarantee anybody that you are out there that really pay bills and are responsible, you never have to convince them of responsibility. You don't have to ever convince them of what it really costs to maintain. Okay? A lot of people don't realize this, that when it comes down to spirituality, there are incurred costs. And that's what people missing. And so therefore, you wouldn't sit in front of that doctor and say, it shouldn't have cost you that for a doctor visit. Because you already know what he or she done to go to school, and then the amount of money that it takes for not only them to have their private practice, but also have a payroll staff. That got to be paid for. So all of those costs come into that visitation fee. Spirituality ain't no different. If you want better service, let me tell y'all something. Most of my cars came from the BMW dealership. Not to buy here, pay here, and not at somebody's yard. I actually went to the dealership, and that's where I bought this. This will be my 4th BMW that I'll be purchasing. Paid off. So, in that, if I needed an oil change and if I was at work, they would not only come pick up, and BMW would not only come pick up my car from my job, they would also, if I had went there, they would give me a courtesy car, but they would pick up my car from my job, service my car, and then drop my car off. When you want certain conveniences and you want certain services, that's what you're paying for. When we pay all that money to sit down and eat a dinner at a 5-star, you're paying for everything that was invested for you to have the scenery and to have the type of chefs that you want the type of spiritualists that service you on a certain level, then you have to pay the cost. Stop. Listen, everybody out here have a right to do what they want to do with their own practice. But you can't expect people to respect your recipes, your conjure, your ATRS, when you are allowing them to get your services that you're out here giving of yourself, your time. Because right now, all this right here is sore. Even when me doing conjure, when spirits are flowing through me and stuff like that, my body takes on a toll. Who gonna pay for the restoration of that? Thank you for that ice cream, y'all know. I like the ice cream. Praise God. When you think about what it costs for a man or woman to be able to restore themselves, to revive themselves, to reignite themselves, to get their mind right, all that costs. That time that they need to go and get themselves together. Just like y'all pay money for pastors to go on vacation, spiritualists need vacation. When they're out here dealing with all your energy, your frequency, your vibration, and stuff that you don't want to deal with, stuff you don't just can't, basically some of y'all do, come and just drop your problems off to your spiritualist and tell them to fix it for you. Well, when they get through fixing your problem, do you turn around and say, you know what? They really need to recoup themselves. Let me send them some extra. But people don't think like that because they don't understand the value of having the true spiritualists in these ATRs. This is something I want y'all to understand. Until our race of people, melanated people, understand you're not doing nobody a favor by doing right by you. You're not doing anybody a favor by getting the tools that you need to make your life better. You're not doing anybody a favor because you can't see to get somebody else to see in your life so you would know what to do for your life. You're not doing anybody a favor by getting a cleansing bath. You're not doing anybody a favor by getting protection work. It doesn't matter what method that spiritualist is utilizing. It is no different than you are going into Publix or Winn-Dixie or anything else. We do the same thing. Thank you and please shop again. But you're not going there and say, oh my God, thank you for having this chicken. Oh my God, thank you for having bread on the shelf. Oh, thank you for having more milk in the shelf. No, we don't do that. Because we know that these stores have what we need. Well, your spiritualist is the same thing. You are going to them to get what they have to help your life. And until we start respecting that Ache, that Chi, and that Prana, and stop wanting people to get out here and give up their resources because you done created something in your life. It doesn't matter. I have dental insurance, but if something going on in my mouth, I got to pay my dentist. We have a good relationship because I pay. I'm going to say that again. We have a good relationship because I pay. I got a good relationship with my padrino. I have a good relationship with my Oba. I have a good relationship because I pay. I don't go and telling people, go in people's store and telling, oh, I'm a man of God, I'm a pastor, and I'm trying to do this for the church because y'all give me. I ain't that type of person. You ain't got to ever worry about that. Me. I pay my way. And I try to teach people this. If it shows respect. It shows respect. Sir and ma'am, if you, especially melanated men, melanated men, I don't care if you gay, I don't care if you straight, I don't care if you bi, that's irrelevant. When you have a talent, a skill, and you go and generate, as the Bible says, we work by the sweat of our brow, and you go and generate your resources, and then you don't have somebody that values your resources and takes your resources and do whatever they want to do, and you still are in lack, that is no different than throwing your pearls to swine. That is no different. To all of you out here that don't understand that I actually have a job. I'm not on social media and doing conjure and stuff 24/7. I have a job. And this is the stuff that people don't want to respect. I'm not getting Section 8. I'm not out here getting food stamps, and ain't no knock to nobody that do. I'm just telling you, I don't get grant money from the government. This is homegrown over here. So this is why I tell a lot of people, listen, this is how we roll over here. It's an opportunity for you to get off that train, go find you something affordable. But you're not going to come over here and hell hack us because of how we have to do things. Okay, I don't get a pastor's salary. So I get out here. This is what I'm going to be teaching today. Mafedifun Iligwa. To those that do not understand Crossroads Spirits, while we work with Crossroads Spirits, these are right here. You would have to cash at me. These are 100. My talisman. These is a talisman. To all of y'all that don't know what a talisman is, a talisman is an object that is utilized to bring in a particular energy, a frequency, or an outcome. Amulets are things that are utilized to ward off. So this has a lot to do with bringing in opportunities. This has to bringing in decision making, because I'm going to explain Iligwa and I'm going to talk about Papa Leg. I'm going to talk about Crossroads Spirits on my YouTube channel in a little bit. But I have these. These are only $100 donations. Send it to my Cash App, and I with your address. Most of my clients already have. I have the addresses. But if you are new, you're going to have to give me your address in order for you to get it. But these are what I'm going to be talking about today. But sir, ma'am, if you're going to do this as a business, you need business skills. You need money management. You need to know how to, and let me say this too. Do not ruin your reputation. Because if you are going to be out here in the community, a spiritual community, you are your brand. And if you got a bad name, I don't care what your talent is, I don't care what your skill is, it's going to hinder your business. Because if people see you as somebody that's a troublemaker, people see you as somebody that's messy, people see you as somebody that they can't trust, then it's going to affect how you are able to amass on this platform or any platform. Because you are the representation of your resource, okay? It costs to break curses. It costs to fight wars. It costs to cleanse people. It just costs. And where I've been spending tens of thousands of dollars lately. And a lot of the stuff that even the donation have to go up because I have to accommodate for the cost. And the only people that I'm really rocking with is people that have been with me from the first go. But I'll say this to encourage you. Do not mess up your name. Do not mess up your name. If you intend to do this kind of work and you're going to be dealing with people, I don't care if you doing donuts, I don't care if you're doing hair, a good name is worth more than rubies, onyx, gold, silver. If you're going to get out here, you need to make sure that you have a good name, and that not only that name, that you pay the cost to have that name, but maintain your standard when it comes to your name, where you will have reoccurring clientele. A lot of y'all are not successful out here because you don't maintain your success. You can get successful and not maintain it. Just like you can be healthy and not maintain it. Just like you can be in love and not maintain it. Maintenance is just as costly. And just like you have to have insurance, when you buy something, most of the time you buy a special electronic, they ask you, do you want insurance on it? Most of us opt out of the insurance until something happens. Maintenance is also protecting your investment. Now, you may not respect your revenue, your money, your resources, but I respect mine. And so therefore, I also work just as hard to protect my investments. That's my spiritual investments, also my natural investment. And this is why some of y'all get messed up out here, because you messing with people's investments. Okay? Now, once again, I ain't telling you how to live your life. I believe in live and let live. But a lot of the reason why y'all not being effective when it comes to conjuring is because you lack knowledge about true cost and maintenance in these ATRs. All right? I hope this helped. Some of you guys, you can follow me over onto my YouTube page. I'm going to be teaching about Crossroads Spirits and the ATRs in about 5 minutes. I'm giving you a little time to get my setup going, and then I'm going to be doing that. But it is really important that not asking what they spiritually cost, but what is it going to cost for me to maintain this healing that I'm doing? What is it going to cost to maintain this working? That stuff is important, y'all. Thank you so much for the like. Much love to y'all. I appreciate that. To all of you that follow me, thank you so much, and I appreciate you. We're gonna be dealing with some heavy stuff, because I know for a fact that a lot of people don't understand crossroad work. They do crossroad work, but they lack understanding. So, as a tribute to the spiritual community, for free, I'm gonna teach it. All right, God bless y'all.